Hello again. I did lie a bit in my previous video. I said I would create bus line 23, but I will not. Instead, I will create tram line 15, which is a ring tram connecting the metro stations on the western side of the city to the eastern side of the city. This will be a long tram line, and it will be a long video. This line was opened last year, so it's a pretty new line, and actually I have never created this line previously because, well, it didn't exist when I last played this game. But let's see how it goes. The terminus of the line will be, oh, sorry about that, will be here in Keilaniemi. And, oops, double track there. And this terminus of the line is the Keilaniemi metro station. So this is where it starts from. This will be I like creating short lines, so this will really be a long video. But let's see how it goes. And it looks like that. So there is the terminus in Keilaniemi. Then let's see how it goes. I am constantly looking at maps in here because I really don't know how this thing runs in reality. But here we have a stop called Otaranta. And it's like that. The first two stops connected. There are around 30 stops on this line, and all of them, as you can soon notice, are new. So this will take a lot of time to create. I expect this video to last for about an hour. I will be more than pleased if it's shorter than that. So Otaranta Utstranden is over there. And then the next stop is going to be... Oh. Well, I'm positive that I won't last that long, actually, because it seems that the stops aren't that close to each other. And once again, the first few stops are again connected to metro stations here in the west. But the great thing about this track is that it connects the suburbs of Tapiola and Leppävaara, which are the biggest urban areas in the town of, or in the city of Espoo. So this is a great way to travel between them. Before the tram was built, you had to use buses. And that wasn't very convenient. For some reason, for some strange reason, I hate buses. I just don't like to travel with them. Don't ask me why. Once again, it will be more creating and less yapping. So I will just probably sit silent here and try to read maps while creating this track. But that's life. So 10% of the tracks created so far. Great, isn't it? I actually used to take this tram quite often a few months back when I was still working in Western Helsinki and going to training in Espoo. This was a very convenient way to connect to the metro. But nowadays I have better ways of reaching my practice. Oh, this stop does not have a Swedish name. Strange. But I will accept it. So it's located in here. Well, at this rate, I will actually be glad if this video will be less than 1 hour. But never mind about that. I will create what has to be created, and after I've done this, it will be a lot simpler or easier to create traffic systems in here. Then let's see what comes next. Okay, it's Laajalahti Breidviken. It's gonna be over here. Oh, it's Laajalahti Breidvik. Okay. I think it will be over here. Let me check one more thing with bus stops. they're on their separate ways, so let's just build the tracks to the side of the road in here. Then there's a bridge above the ring road. So this is where I've gotten, and this is where I should get, so there is still quite a long distance to be covered. But we're soon in Leppävaara, which is of course very nice. Then the next stop is Linnoitustie. Befästningsvägen. And it's obviously going to be it's obviously going to be in here. I will put the tram tracks on the road because I can then use the same stops when creating bus lines later on, because there will be bus lines over here. There's another bridge over the highway over here. Let's just split the bus and tram lines over here. Yeah, I should do them separately, but I'm a lazy ass person, so I will not do that this time. There we go. What's next? We're closing on to Leppävaara, which is fairly nice because that means the first section of the tram route has been created. I will just build the tram on its own tracks now because I can then add bus stops later on. I stopped being lazy. This stop basically is its own station, but I will still connect it with the station seen over there very shortly. And yes, this station. It's basically it is the same. And once again, I'm back to being lazy and creating the tram line by the road where it actually does not run. It runs at the side of the road, but let's get to that later on. First stretch done, because it now merges with the network in Leppävaara. And as you can see, so far the first stretch is over there. There is still quite a lot to do. This isn't even 1/3 of the line. And I have actually spent less than 20 minutes, so I still have high hopes on reaching the end before 1 hour. What's next? It's Berkans. And it's over there. Okay, the keyboard has started to refuse cooperation, but the stop will nevertheless be built here. No. This is actually the keyboard sometimes when you create large lines starts malfunctioning, and that is a slight and nasty issue. There is only so much I can do about it, so I will just stop complaining and start creating, which is one of my mottos. That will be an overpass and there will be buses running above it. There. My next goal, of course, is to reach the intersection of this railroad over here, where the INP trains and the A train are actually just meeting at the moment. The next stop will be called Vermo, which is named after the huge horse track in here, and the stop will be located right next to it. I'm actually glad they've the stops are on the map. This stop doesn't have a Swedish name on its own. It's, well, Värmo. Oh. This keyboard issue is irritating. It really is irritating, but I just have to live with it. And the reason why I'm creating this line now is that I will try to create the larger lines before the small lines to avoid traffic congestion. And that's probably the next stop is on the other side of the yes track, which is once again it's marked. It's marked over here, which means this is great. Once I reach to the eastern side of the main railroad track in Finland, then I will be happy, because that means I'm reaching the... Oh, come on! This isn't nice. Isn't nice at all. Ugh. Why is it acting this way? There we go. The last time I played this game, this line was still bus line 550, and it was operating as a so-called trunk line. Trunk lines use bigger buses and actually function like trams in terms of ticketing and stuff like that, but oh yes, now the tram goes to a tunnel in there, and it re-emerges in here, where it very closely follows bus lines, so this will help me later on. And there is a tunnel in here. So let's make it a tunnel. And the tunnel was very, very, very controversial at its time. There were some very rare bats, I think, living in the forest. And there were several complaints about the building of the tunnel, but the complaints were eventually discarded by the courts, and so they could build this stretch of track. But it's a long tunnel. It's a long tunnel by Finnish tram tunnel standards, because I think it is the only tram tunnel so far. No. Well, I don't think I'm even halfway here. are 14 stops so far. I said I think 24, so yeah. Still not there. But working on things here at the moment. Okay, now it will start going solo. It will start running. Oh. Okay, I know this road has a Swedish speaking name, so I will just give the stop a Swedish speaking name. And this massive roundabout was constructed in the 60s. And when they started building the tram tracks, they actually realized that a stretch of road from a time before the roundabout was constructed was still there. It was probably the oldest asphalt in the whole city. But unfortunately, when they built the railroad, they had to demolish it. So that stretch of track or road no longer exists. And this roundabout is actually one of the most horrible ones in the city, because it has around, wait a second, 5 interjections with traffic lights, and as you can see, the tram tracks here are pretty close, but not close enough. And the next stop is in a tunnel below the station in Huopalahti. There. So I have crossed the first railroad. I will still need to cross the second railroad, but as you can see, we've come this far now, and we're still not halfway. Oh, this line is a nightmare to create. And then we have Ilkantie or Ilkkavegen, which is over here. So it's after the roundabout in here. And this connection will be important later on when I get to long distance trains, because they, or not long distance trains, but longer distance commuter trains, because they stop at Huopalahti, which means this is going to be a connecting station to many passengers. So this is the first threshold, the railway track to the west. The second threshold will be the railway track to the north. And after that, I can actually congratulate myself and say I made most of it. But not quite yet. The following stops is below the... Oh. Okay, so there are also bus stops here, but the following stops are in a tunnel under the... highway to Hämeenlinna. And then it's going to be Pirkkola or Veritas. And it's going to be here. This is actually the central park of Helsinki, which we are crossing right now, so there will be very few stops because there is nobody living in there. It's a massive park, perfect for walking dates. I've been on several ones in there. And done. Well, perhaps I'm halfway now. And the following stop is gonna be Pirjontie Birgittavägen, which is it's over here, right? Yes, in the roundabout there. So 33 minutes gone, and I'm about halfway. I think the 1 hour threshold is quite a good expectations on how long creating this line is going to take. I would have much rather created 3 bus lines in the hour, but that didn't happen this time. Then the following stop is that's going to be shared with buses actually. Now we're definitely over halfway. That's great news for me. Because like I said, I prefer creating short videos, simple lines. But it doesn't always happen, you know. And then the track will go on a bridge above the highway to Tuusula, which is a fairly useless place north of Helsinki. Inhabited by people who don't like or can't afford life in the capital region, who want big yards, big houses, and supermarkets accessible by cars. Then, oh, wonderful! I'm already in Oulunkylä. That's just absolutely great. Okay, then it's the following places: Steininpuisto, Jekneparken, which will come before the roundabout. And it's gonna be over here. Done. Mm-hmm. 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 And then there's a wild turn. Right in there. Yes. And actually the stop isn't shared with the station. But I will do it anyway. I feel like rebellious now at the moment. So I'm just gonna merge it with the station. Because why not? Why create useless amounts of stops if you can merge them? But now I've reached the trunk railway line, which means I am definitely to the final third of this shit. Which is, like I said, great news. I prefer short lines, short videos, a little effort. And this one, in case you haven't yet noticed, it has required a lot of effort. I sound like I don't enjoy this. I do enjoy this. Oops, this thing causes some issues. But let's just let me see. Yeah, that's better. And the issues are caused by the fact that there are buses running through this roundabout. Almost there. Great. How many stops do I have left? Oh, no. Well, I made a slight mistake in there because this stop was called Oulunkylä Center and the next stop was called Oulunkylä Station, but I will just combine them into one. I will just take a shortcut in here. Yes, that's what I'll do. I will put this track to a tunnel under the sorry about that, under the railroad. And then we'll just drive it there. Like I said, I will do this as accurately as I please, and here I'm taking some liberties. No. The following stop is Raide-Jokeri. Grindbacka. And it's over there. It's once again luckily marked on the map, which makes things easier. If you look at the length of the line, it's pretty impressive. And, well, around 20% perhaps is left. I could guess so. And next stop is at Vikinmäki, Viksbacka. And we'll probably have to build a bridge in here. Yes, I think that's right. And then this place over here has caused some issues to car drivers. They've constantly accidentally run to the tram tracks and crashed with the tram, and it's, well, it took them quite a long time to realize that there is actually a tram running in here. But there haven't been any reports on crashes in the recent months, so maybe they have learned their lesson. So close and yet so far. I mean, I really want to finish this connection soon. Not soon enough. Then what do we have? Latokartano, Ladugården. Let's soon see how many stops I have left. Oops. Don't think there are many. I would say less than 10. 4. Well, well, well. We are really, really reaching the end. Well, after all, it's called sorry, it's called the Express Tramway, so it seems to be quite an express. Now there is very little left. And if I can remember correctly, just one more stop to go, and then this line is completed. But then we'll just have to create the line and get the trams. That will cost some money, guys. That will cost some money. And that's right. The station is located, the terminus is located right here. It's not a station of its own, once again, it's a part of the station nearby, and that's how we will treat it. There. Then we just need the loop to the end because in reality the drivers would change. Let's work this way. I need a longer loop. No. How do you do this? That way. So brilliant. The track has been created. Let's build it, and then, my dear friends, let's start buying trams. Now, how many do I have so far? It's I have to check my Excel. It's 115, so we should just about clone this one. And in reality, this track uses Arctic trams. But, oh no, we'll just have to create a line first. In reality, this line uses Arctic trams, but I will just pretend that they are the old number 15 trams because I like them. Number 1 trams because I like them so much more. So, here we go. That was quite a push. I mean, really spending an hour creating a line. That was quite a push. But it's done. This is just the easy part of it. It's actually a 49-kilometer long tram line, so I will have to buy dozens of trams. There we go. We've reached the very end. And the next interesting thing will be how often we need to run these trains. And the answer is 6 minutes. So every 6 minutes we will have to have a train in here. And this is going to be something. Now, if one train takes 1 hour and 52 minutes to run its track, we will need a huge, 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 huge amount of them. We need 3 times as much as this. Let me repeat that for you. 3 times as much as this. Still 11 minutes, and we need to push it to 6 minutes. Oh no, this is going to be... This is going to be one hell of a thing, you know. A few more. And then we're done. One more, I think. Yes, and there we have it. So it's still of 19 trams on one line. But this, my dear friends, this is the last tram line in Helsinki that I have created. And that means, of course, that one era is coming to an end. But not to worry, not to worry at all. There will be a tram in Tampere. Once we get to Tampere, we will start building it. By the time we get to Tampere, there will probably be a tram in Vantaa, so then we'll build that thing too. But this line has been created, and in the next video, now I will promise to you, it will be bus line number 23. But until bus line number 23, I will just have to say bye.